Hey guys, my name is Nora Franch, and welcome to the podcast Grateful Blessed Mess, daily reflections for those in the 12 steps. I am a fellow 12-stepper and certified mindset coach, and I am here to introduce you to the value of mindset coaching in your 12-step journey. So if you feel like you are stuck in the steps, if you're slipping and sliding with your abstinence, mindset coaching may help you as it did me, and you can find me at CatholicMindsetCoaching.com. These episodes are meant to invite you in to consider the truths of 12-step wisdom and to join in the very real struggle of living them in action. I hope that it feels almost like a mini meeting, and I invite you to contribute your own share on the Grateful Blessedness Facebook group to keep the discussion going. My comments are based on my own experience, so feel free to take what you like and leave the rest. But my hope is to encourage you on your own daily 12-step journey. As they say, you cannot stay clean on yesterday's shower. So without further ado, let's begin. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another day, living each day a day at a time. So that's all we can do, right? We're going to dive in. We're reading from Voices of Recovery. It's the May 30th reading on page 151. When working this step, we do more than just recite events from the past which we consider to be our wrongs. We need to look at what those actions cost us. That's from the AA 12 and 12, page 49. It is very difficult for me in doing a fifth step to discuss the payoffs as well as the costs of my character defects. It helps to admit to an outside source that there were rewards, however small, in doing much of what I did. In reviewing the rewards, however, I can see how small they were compared to the costs today. I get to hear myself acknowledge that the payoffs are no longer worth the pain. When I hear myself saying this out loud, I know I have come a long way toward accepting it as my truth. Okay, so this was something that really confused me for the first many years in program. I heard people say that things that I did, or that like the food was like it saved me for a time. It was the only tool I knew back when people were, eating compulsively. And so they were like grateful to have it then, or they know that they had certain character defects that helped them survive in childhood. And now that they had outgrown them. And I think I was just having trouble identifying for me how things like self-pity or, binging or self-hatred could be useful. And so I'm going to try to show you how they are, because that's been a big area of growth. And partly it's working with someone else that like they said, when I hear myself saying this out loud, I know I've come a long way toward accepting it as my truth. To really like play it out, either journaling or with another person, and seeing why you do something, what your benefit was from it, and then looking at it on paper, it's like, oh, I know, like that was my go-to because I was wanting to protect my, self-esteem or something. And I can now see how the way that I lost respect for myself in this certain situation by doing what I does not outweigh in a large degree, the way I was trying to protect my self-esteem. So it would make more sense if we got to particular scenarios. So I was saying that I didn't see how self-pity could be something that served me. And where I've grown with that is, okay, I mean, yes, I can see that when I'm in self-pity, I'm just sad and mopey, and I'm looking for other people to notice my pain or something like that. But if I back it up a little bit, I can see that there's something in me that's calling for attention. But it's attention that I'm not giving to me. So the good thing there is that this woe is me mentality of like, oh, this is so hard for me, or this is so sad for me, and then looking outward for people to help me. The problem is that I looked outward. The problem was not the self-pity. I was embarrassed because I'm just such a mopey person. That wasn't the issue. The issue is where I went to fix it. And so self-pity is actually an indication that, yes, there's something in me that is being worked too hard, or whose boundaries are being crossed, or whose needs aren't being met. And I am not doing the work to meet those needs, set and protect those boundaries. I'm looking to someone else to do the work that only I can do. And then I'm disappointed and resentful or angry or sad when they don't. So it gets kind of twisted up on itself. So the next one was binging. I said I couldn't see how there could be any benefit to binging. And one of my go-tos was I'd get home from hanging out with friends where I always felt like I either didn't fit in or was like, the pity invite, like, oh, we'll just invite her because she doesn't have any other friends. Whether that was true or not, I would get home and my favorite thing to do was sit on the couch with a pint of ice cream and turn on Friends and watch that for a couple hours. And it would like help me shake off whatever unpleasantness that was in my body from being around people who I either felt like I wasn't wanted by, or just couldn't connect to, or maybe wasn't wanted by. Regardless, the binging, what it did was it helped numb that pain of feeling out of place, that really uncomfortable feeling that I just hated feeling in my body. That soothed it a little bit. That made it go away. And so in a way, I can see that, that was helpful to me at that time. Now, if I play it out the way that it made me feel the next morning, gross, not enough sleep, tummy bloated, or over time gaining weight, so I felt even more self-conscious in social situations, that was actually not helping that that discomfort that I was trying to assuage. But in the frame of mind I was in, only able to see like 2 inches in front of my face, that had helped manage the discomfort. Okay? And then the third one, I'm blanking on what I said earlier, so I'm just going to go with self-righteous anger. And you can message me about what the one is that I missed, and I'll post it on the Facebook group. I'll give a play out of how it's actually a benefit. But self-righteous anger is another one where it you are protecting something that was accosted. Self-righteous anger often, gets us to the point of excessive anger or of vengeance, like stopping at no cost to make someone pay for what they did, and then we too become the villain. So it takes us too far, but really truly it's identifying that something was genuinely harmed, and that maybe you are right in identifying that it was harmed. But then I have to turn to humility and remember that, sometimes I'm that person who's doing the harming. Or, compassion, oh, they were just having a bad day. Or meekness, like I have every right to come down on them, and I'm going to release them from my anger and forgive them. So even when we have these go-to character defects, vices, ways we show up that are excessive, that make us turn or want to turn to our substance, it is not those things that are wrong. It's what we do with them that is helpful or not helpful in terms of keeping us on our road to recovery. But it's also really helpful to identify them so that we can show ourselves the cost, what they are costing us, and then decide in a more level-headed frame of mind, looking at the costs and the benefits, if this is really worth keeping or if it's something you want to give to your higher power and ask him to take away because you want to move forward in recovery and not be sucked back to your disease. So, again, this is something that coaching can do. What we do is take you through every step, every thought and action, how it plays out, and challenge you to, decide whether or not you want to keep that. And it sounds so simple, and it is so hard to get inside of our own brains and peel this stuff back sometimes. And so someone else going through it with you is just really helpful because it's very cobwebby in there. There's it's like a messy ball of yarn. And so you don't know where one string goes and where the other one connects. And it can be tricky. So if you need help, reach out, CatholicMindsetCoaching.com. Anyway, and I'll be hearing from you guys on the Facebook group. So I apologize for missing that one character defect, but it'll come back to me. What I could do is beat myself up. Another character defect and get down on myself for messing up or not preparing well enough. But I think what that points out to is this desire, and I think it's something similar to this, but this desire to do things well. And that's a good desire. Where we can go to is shame and, beating ourselves up. But really, the root of that desire is just the desire to do something well. And that is a good desire. And so I'm going to hold on to that. Instead of remembering all the ways I fail, I'm going to remember this desire in me to do things well. And that's a good desire. And that's a good thing in me. All right, guys. With that, I pass. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you feel that mindset coaching could help you on your 12-step journey, please feel free to reach out and find me at CatholicMindsetCoaching.com. But more than that, it's important to me to give listeners like yourself a place where you do not need to feel alone on your 12-step journey. And for that reason, I've created a Facebook group. It's called Grateful Blessed Mess. And it's a place where listeners can go to add their own commentary on the share for the day, in addition to my own, and for us just to have a conversation or start a back and forth where people can find support in their 12-step journey. This is not a replacement for 12-step work. This is something outside of the 12 steps. It is simply something that has a heart for the 12 steps and those who are in it. And so, welcome. If you're here, chances are you may also be a bit of a mess. And I hope that you can learn to find some gratitude in the blessings that have come from your messes.